ready. As we talk about clothes, getting ready for some tanks now. I believe tank picking has just begun. We can
It
tab on
has.
over to that. And we shall see what is being selected here. Flare opting for a CS and an I7. You can see here, attacking team starts with 2 picks. Defending team has 4 on the bottom. Now the 3 question marks at the top. Flare has to ready up 3 tanks. Then Burbology will have 2. And then Flare will have the final pick. So, a Wheezy 5A. I think that we saw them bring it one time before.
Correct.
Uh,
It's just like, and we've talked about it, where the Wheezy is a really good pick if because it's like if compared to most tanks like an IS-7 and even like a Super Conk, like I mean he's gonna pen right with that heat. And I mean, you know, like IS-7 shoulders are. Oh, also I think they brought it when we were talking about it last time. The 5A, they'd actually brought it because it has 8 degrees of gun depression.
Correct.
And they were like planning on, and it's also still really, really quick. I actually haven't played it since the, field modifications came out, but I'm pretty sure it's probably classified as a breakthrough heavy. I wouldn't see why it isn't.
I don't see why it wouldn't be. Yeah,
and so breakthrough heavy is get +4 kph, and then if you combine that with the turbo, I mean, he can go pretty quick. Right.
Its problems before was while the 113 was more agile and stuff, the Wheezy still had that high top speed. It was hard to get to it, kind of like an i7. But with the field mods and the things you're talking about, like it could be that situation where it's kind of like an i7 on some maps, where it just gets from point A to point B that much quicker than even a 113 if it's like going downhill straight line. But we are underway. Muscle's doing his scout loop. Nexus in his T100, and I feel like I remember a T1. Oh, it was not Nexus playing it though. It was I think it was Dark Ninja on the same team.
A little bit of dark, and he saw Kronwagen, and he wanted some damage in his life,
and he got deleted for it.
Mm-hmm.
We like to kid some of these players.
I think that's the last. I mean, I'm not even capping. I think it's the last time we saw him in a light tank.
I think it was, unless we saw him on proc afterwards. But that I can understand why it would be the last time. Yeah. And Dark Ninja is actually, ironically, in an IS-7. Dark Ninja is usually in a fast tank on the outside.
Yeah, like a CS63 or something like that. Maybe they've talked about it, and they're like, Dark, you need to play something that you are less likely to bleed in. And but you have to admit though, now, if it came down to MVPs of this season for offside gameplay, hands down, it's either going to go to External or Muscles. Like those two have been like insane for offside gameplay, and they've done insane things. There's a couple other names, but I mean, those are both of them. It may come down to like
which team wins. If it was one of these teams that like wins the whole thing, it could absolutely be like where you would think of it just that way. I feel like Muscles may have been more instrumental on his team because his role is so specific to while External does some other things too. Right. Where it's more he's the prototypical thing, but External's certainly more than capable of doing it. Just not playing the CS much until really later, and I think this is the first time we've seen him as the only one. And there's a push.
They're going into push here. Major actually already simping for December here. Looks like they're going to be bleeding Dark, and Dark actually might not get out here. No, he actually barely gets out.
A bit of a hyper aggressive from Burbology going for that pick. They don't get it, like you said, but he's one shot and he's pretty much helpless. But now they've committed these i7s can't disengage now, so it's good and it's bad for Burbology because they have to kind of get something. And when you have Bloop and Onion there in the positions they're at, they're able to support so well. Onion's in that and I guess that's why they brought the 5A. It needs extreme gun depression to be able to play that spot, and you can see External and Nexus gobbling up the rest of the map as quickly as they can. OP is in the divot, but there's 2 Krons that can support him. They can't really pick him.
Correct. And like what we've seen before is actually what they just did is what we have seen in previous matches, and what actually has come out like to a more statistical like win. So basically what I'm saying is like defensive teams that have gotten aggressive early game and like bled something or maybe even killed something have like their chances of winning have skyrocketed, right? In comparison to just like holding and letting the team kind of get away with map control, right?
Absolutely. Just setting the tempo and not letting it, because the teams have gotten better at breaking some of the camps and the hyper defensive play where it's like, yeah, if you just sit in those stagnant spots and they know where all you guys are, they're going to eventually make the move to beat you. And OP actually relocated. Nexus went to a unique spot on the cap, but now he's backed off to a different one. OP will be able to spot him here in a moment, and he does. And there's the shots onto Nexus. Will a second one land? Oh, October
wow. 800 meter a second. I think it's like 840 or 800.
It's slow.
It's
yes,
slow.
yeah. I think you're right. It's that or like 900. I think it's under 900.
It's 100% under. It's like either 840 or 800. It's so slow. Three marking that tank. It's like it's really good when you get hold down, but you get a bad map that you can't do anything in, and you're just like wow. Or you like there's a lot of damage across the map, and you're just like ooh look at all the damage, but you only have heat left, and you're like never mind.
It's like how do you get a shell slower than a 121 or a 113 heat? Yeah. I think those are 900 or 950.
Those are actually like 1,000 flat. The AP and the
is it 1,000?
Yeah, it's like 1,000 flat. It's like the weirdest.
And the 5A has higher velocity, I'm pretty sure, on its heat.
Maybe.
Just slightly?
Yeah,
just slightly?
I think you're right. I think it is slightly. But I remember the 113 actually, competitive-wise, a lot of people used to say it's really good because the AP and the heat have both the same shell velocity, so it's like when you switch between them you're still leading the same way, right? That muscle memory is still there, and that's I remember why a lot of people liked it as well, because sometimes you need to load AP, you know what I mean, because you don't want to crit the light tank. And this is a weird 1v1 here because OP
very odd. Everyone's
most
coming in
likely
now.
Will win this if he doesn't get any help here. And not only is he not getting any help, but he's also getting absolutely destroyed from above. And OP
really
gets a kill while
Octo
and Kenway come in. Bloop a little late to the party, trying to farm Kenway here, maybe looking to permatrack him. Kenway taking a shot in the back of the turret as well, going down there, getting saved up to 700, but taking another shot. External getting a little bit really aggro on the boys under. Ooh, External's just gonna go for muscles. Most likely Nexus is gonna look for shots. Oh, Nexus, don't sit there. Ooh, he actually didn't get the shot. So now External's gonna get to pick muscles for almost free.
If he lands this one right here,
and he lowrolls, and now Kenway has a clip, and they're gonna counter External. External might die here. Oh, External making a play though, and going straight for muscles. Oh, this is really interesting.
External needs to get the pick there, and ideally not take the hit, but he does, and he does go down. Wow, almost an amazing play by External there.
It's pretty much over here for Team Flare. It seems like it's Burbo's win.
Oh, absolutely. That would have been a great little morale booster, though, for External. Correct. It was. I
mean, if Kenway
you sometimes get so close to doing that, but that was showing you just kind of. That was one of those rare things where you don't see it in pubs as often and stuff, and not in competitive play. But you were talking about it in the pre-match. That's one of those skill things that, look, I don't care how good of or bad of a caller Nexus is. He can't tell External, hey, by the way, make sure you're creeping up here as it. No, that's External making his own decisions and just playing the game really well at a high level.
Correct. And I think that just that early bleed really did it for them, you know? Because if you look at the team HP, actually, they would have been even towards the end, you know, so.
And a little bit of the comp to Burbology going a very fast, light, heavy defense.
Correct.
Where they didn't have something like a mouse to anchor. They had a 277 that can move around quickly, and they had double Kron to kind of reinforce that whole play in the south. And I think you're right. I think they got caught off with Dark Ninja getting, well, not picked, but taken down so low.
Well,
they didn't
that's
have an
the thing, though.
You could
argue, even though he was alive, he still essentially got picked because he's an IS-7, right? Whereas like if a CS gets one shot, at least he can like move, like get away and like snipe and stuff, right? It's hard to put an IS-7 gun keep an IS-7 gun into the game when he's 400 HP, right? So
and it just ended up being that awkward thing where a lot of times finding these pushes or these little things isn't as simple as we're pushing 6 tanks here. It's finding the overmatches, and Burbology made that play with the minimum required number of guns and tanks and the right ones, where it's just the 2 I7s making that play. If they had to commit, say, 3 tanks to do that, they may be in an awful position, is what's weird. But since they just had to commit those 2, they were actually perfectly fine because it still had 2 Krons in reserve. It was just, they made the right choice, and credit to them. And
Yeah, and they
Onion
talk
was able
about
to
and
farm
they
quite a
you know
bit
and
from
the
back
and
there, but
yeah, and Octo doing 4,880 damage,
yeah,
126 fantasy points, and December and Major Pain play off each other really really well, and he's talked about that, right? Because they're twins. So um and I mean it was a solid first round, and I don't really see, you know what I mean? I think it was kind of their win from the get-go, kind of there, because they not only did they get bleed, but they kind of just kept it going. They kept that pace where they kept the distance. There wasn't really
we
a redefining moment where it was like, "Oh, Team Flare can kind of come back from this." So,
And I mean, if Dark was in a slightly different spot, I mean, it's hard to. It's a woulda, coulda, shoulda.
mhm.
Like if he was still full health when that
That's the
had
thing
happened,
too
would it
is
have
that's the
really
thing that a lot of
changed
people have to keep in
much?
mind is we don't know like why they put him there. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like we don't know why he put them there. We don't know what their plan was. In their initials, and it looks like we're getting into the next tank picks. But like, yeah, we didn't know what their initials were. Like maybe Dark was supposed to do something, right? Um,
Yeah, no, a lot of times when Smiley brings up a good point. When we're talking about this stuff, sometimes it's not even necessarily the individual player's decision. It may be the strat, it may be the whatever. It's not like, oh my god, why is Dark getting shot in the butt by i7's? Like, no, it's he may have made a mistake. The strat may have made a mistake. Someone may have missed a sight line for him to make sure that he was okay. There's certain risk that happens whenever you do anything. It could have been any number of reasons, and tank picks have come in here. Flare opting for the T100 again on defense this time, and the Burbology attack, double Kron, CS Bat, 277 ISM, almost the exact same lineup they brought on defense, except I believe
a
they
bad chat
have, the Bat instead of
and
the other IS7.
Mussies in a bad chat.
So going for the T100 on defense, we've seen teams use it before, and I think even Flare has used it before. It either works out. It feels like it always is like we win by just a bunch, like way ahead, or we just get completely slaughtered because not just because we have a 200, but because bringing a 200 is one less kind of gun and thing to take hits. You have to really be able to use.
So do you think if Nexus was a CS, would it have played out differently?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. That's the first question that I would ask is but it looks like it's a very different strat from Flip. They're actually going to play heavy south. They're going to probably go south, and they're going to send 2 tanks up the G line.
And so this is what we have seen. We have seen teams do this before, and you remember? I think like, heavy souths have sometimes been capped out on north. Remember, Ox got,
that's the biggest weakness.
Right.
If Burbology has an immediate aggression north, like just if their initial is just we're going heavy as crap north and we're just pushing up the gut
and
immediately,
that's why people put the
it's
bounty,
really hard for Flare to win.
And that's why people put the bounty low noise on a T100 because he actually didn't get lit there and he was close to a bad chat. And the bad chat's still probably, I don't know off the top of my head with that loadout. Like somebody could probably look it up on tank.gg, but they have like a, all the skill crew. He's running food. Everybody's running food. So
I don't know
he
what the
probably had
numbers are
like
with
480
field
something
mods.
view range on the bat chat, even without optics.
Before the what is it called, the reserves and stuff, it was usually around 300-ish meters for a typical tank to detect a T100. Like if they're running optics and rations and they have like 400 base view range, right? But now with all these, since I played hyper competitive, there's so many more variables, like the noise suppressor. Like it's hard for me to know exactly what is the distance before he gets spotted. I don't know the exact number with all those, and then it's like, oh, does he have 410 or 410 or 400 base or 390 base? Look at this, OP and them, they're just going, and it is not Dodo in the Kron. It's the other Kron that is flexed back to the north. Bloop.
And Onion is also coming back here. So OP is going to try to be clearing this out, and then most likely they're just going. Did Major Pain DC? Or is the stream lagging? Everybody, it looks like everybody else
moved his camera a little bit. They didn't touch the cap, which was smart because.
Oh wow, that was lag.
Team Flare has gobbled up so much of the map, of the map that they know that they're caught in that area, but they don't know how many tanks now have gotten up into A8, and technically they don't know if any have gotten there yet. And Kenway's going to take some punishment here. Nexus getting the spot.
Kenway actually might not be able to get out because of the Krana middle. When he goes through that mid, he might start getting shot there. I don't know. No, actually he's safe. He's fine. Yep.
Yeah, he's going to be safe in there. He's not going to be able to go much further.
So what's your time at? 5:05? 5:04?
Yeah, 5:02, 1.
Yeah, we're good.
0. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Ooh, did you see that?
Yeah.
That was sneaky. I think that was external.
I saw like, who was it? Major Payne just sitting there in the CS63, and I thought my stream lagged.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I was watching that, and I was like, I saw him move his cursor for a second. Here comes the play. OP Snacker and December are going straight on down the 0. They're looking for picks, but they're taking a lot of punish for
this. There
this.
isn't anything to pick though. That's the funniest part. I mean,
there's
they
nobody
basically
there.
just.
This has been a giant ring around the Rosie.
And I think it's Team Flair's ring around the Rosie to win.
Uh-oh, maybe Major was lagging. Oh no, Dodo, save him! Save him, Dodo! Save him, Dodo! Dodo saved him! He tracked him! Very nice! And also gives him some more fantasy points. Dodo's like, I'm in the 3-mark mode. Of course I tracked him for damage. Like, dude, I need the assistance.
I 100% knew homie lagged out.
Oh yeah,
I just saw it and I was just like, he lagged out.
But then I saw his cursor move for just a split moment.
Right.
And then I was like, oh well, maybe he was like pinging the mini map, right?
No, he lagged out. I wonder if December lagged out too. I'm pretty sure they're playing in the same house. That is unfortunate.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Maybe they will make a roster change in the next round if they're actually having some technical.
Yeah, they might have to put denial in. I think that's the only other option they have. But if both of them go down, it's just GG. They don't have enough to play.
Oh no, that's true. Yeah, I always had the opinion when I was calling it in the teams when I was calling.
Roster, am I just Papega? No, they picked up denial and they put down Nova. So there's somebody else. I think it's Potato.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. I
always got to pick my rosters when I was calling. Like there was a lot of administrative stuff on the team and separation of powers and stuff. But whenever I was calling, it's like I know I'm in charge of my team. What I want to pick, who I want to bring.
Right.
But like, I always told people I was like, it is nothing personal, and I want everyone to feel confident. I want to have a bench of people that are paying attention in scrims, even if they're not playing as much. That they're still sharp in the game. Where I'm like. I don't care if external's going to drive off of a cliff because his internet's just really bad today. You know, Comcast or whatever is just a problem. I want it to be like external. Be like, it's okay. We can bring in someone that is, you know, anyone is better than someone just driving off a cliff, right? And it's really bad for morale because everyone's sitting there going, oh well. I remember. I don't remember who we were playing. It was in I think the last season of Gold League. And I was on Eclipse, and I was on Proc, and literally in the comms you could hear it blasting. T1 diabetic. He was in college at the time in a dorm, and his fire alarm went off. And he had to leave in the middle of a game. We're like, what? Oh no! And so like we tried to like use him as like a trap on one side, but it was just playing a guy down. We had to sub him out. Anything could happen, and. Team Flair dominating victory there, getting a little.
You should have played through the fire alarm.
That was said it first, and then it was that may not be a safe idea. I think if there is a legit fire, I think you need to get out of the building. Post game stats here: Onion 3100, Dodo 3200, neck and neck there with a kill each. Nexus 1800 and 2 kills, got a lot of spotting damage. Look at that, 74 fantasy points from that round. Bloop. 2,300, 2 kills. Dark Ninja, 1,800 external. Not able to get as much out that round, but got out a lot more than the previous one.
Major Payne and 3K. OP doing god tier work. Just with 0 damage, both of them. I mean, OP was the one pushing. So I don't know. Did they just? I almost thought they were just like reset. You know what I mean? Because we saw the 277s pushing like that, but we didn't know that Major Payne was AFK at the time, right? So. Well, not
do you think that it was maybe like Major was like, I disconnected? I think that Major disconnected after the push had already started, but maybe not. Because the other situation is if you're Burbology and you may have to make a roster change, anything like that, you want to just play for time, even though you're on a ticket. Like, okay, we're gonna lose this game no matter what. We're
Yeah,
just
you
gonna turtle in
you
the
do
corner, and we
do
just
want
want
to
to
play for
like.
time. So I think
He's
you're
gonna
right.
go
I think they didn't
unplug his
know.
modem. He's gonna, yeah, like let's give him as many seconds as we can. But no matter how it happens, it's 1-1,
It is
and
1 to
Sand
1.
River's over.
Team
A
Flare,
1-1
Team
map.
Flare out here like December DC next.
And if you are Team Flare, you may see something like that happen, but I guarantee, everyone wants to win, but at the same time, they're not gonna, be shedding any tears. They just say, look, this is just the reality. It's the way things happen. It's the same way that
It
in
is the way things
professional
happen.
sports, someone can get injured, and it's just like,
Mhm.
it just happens, and it's part of the
Yep, like
game. It's part of the
when the one
situation.
football team has a better quarterback, but he gets hurt first quarter, and it's
Yeah.
just GG.
Mm-hmm.